Hey my loves, welcome back to Jam and Cuisine. It's your girl Shanice. If you're new here, welcome. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the bell before you go so you don't miss out on any of these amazing recipes, especially this Valentine series that I'm doing right now. If you've been tuning in, then you'll see that the previous video that I posted was a red velvet chocolate chip cookie. Now in this video we will be making some red velvet brownies. As we all know, Valentine's Day is right around the corner, so I'm dropping all these recipes for you guys. These red velvet brownies are moist, dense, fudgy. It's just delicious, and they're very easy to make, easier than you think. Before we jump into the recipe, I want to let you guys know that you can now shop all the ingredients to each of my recipes straight from my website. So whichever recipe you go on from the website, once you get to the ingredients section, you'll see a little bar that says get ingredients with Instacart. You can just hit that button and have the ingredients delivered to you, or you can go ahead and pick it up from whichever grocery store. And I'm currently working on this blog post / red velvet brownie recipe for you guys. It will be posted on the website shortly. Now let's jump right into this recipe. So for this recipe we will be using melted butter. So you want to melt that ahead of time because you don't want to use hot butter. So this is half a cup of melted unsalted butter, and to that I added a half a teaspoon of white vinegar followed by a tablespoon of milk. These two ingredients are very important when you want to achieve that red velvet flavor. However, you can skip those two ingredients if you just want to make some brownies with a bright red color. So after adding all that to my melted butter, I'm going to go ahead and add this mixture to a large bowl, followed by 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, followed by a half a cup of brown sugar and a half a cup of granulated sugar. If you only have one of these sugars, go ahead and just use a cup of whichever one you have. Mix that all together, set it to the side, and then we're going to combine our dry ingredients. So here I have 3/4 of a cup of all-purpose flour, and to that I'm going to go ahead and add 1/3 cup of unsweetened natural cocoa powder. I'm just using the Hershey's brand cocoa powder, nothing crazy. However, if you really want to achieve that nice velvety flavor, then I would definitely recommend Dutch cocoa powder. Added a half a teaspoon of salt. We're gonna mix that all in. Now we're gonna add our eggs to our mixture. So I cracked my eggs in a separate bowl, and then I added it, mixed it in really well with your whisk. Be careful not to overmix. Then I'm gonna go in with my dry ingredients. I'm adding half first to mix it all in, and then I'll add the remaining half. I'm gonna go in with my red food dye. You can also use food coloring. If you're looking for a more vibrant red, I would definitely recommend using food coloring as it is more concentrated than the food gel dye. I used around 3.5 teaspoons of the red food gel dye, but of course you could use more, like I said, if you wanted to have a brighter color. Mix that all in until the red is evenly distributed. Then we're gonna fold in half a cup of white chocolate chips with a spatula. Of course you can use whatever topping you prefer. You could skip the chocolate chips since we'll be adding the cream cheese swirl on top if it's too much for you. At this time, your oven should be preheated to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. In the meantime, we're gonna go ahead and make our cream cheese frosting. So we're using softened cream cheese. So you wanna just take these ingredients out ahead of time. And I'm using a whole block of cream cheese, which is 8 ounces. For my cream cheese layer, I will not be using any eggs in the frosting. I'll just use the cream cheese, a 1/4 cup of melted butter, 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, and 2.5 cups of powdered sugar. However, if you feel the need to use eggs in your cream cheese frosting, please go ahead and do so. So I'm just gonna combine all these ingredients to a small bowl. I'm gonna go ahead and mix with my hand mixer until a smooth consistency is formed. So to my 8x8 glass dish, I'm gonna add parchment paper to the bottom. I'm gonna go in with my brownie batter first. Use your spatula, make sure that it's evenly spread right out. Then I'm just gonna add spoonfuls of the cream cheese mixture on top. I think I'm using around 2 tablespoons each spoonful, and we're just gonna make some random swirls with it, not in any specific order, whatever design you want to go with, it doesn't matter. And we're gonna bake uncovered, and since I'm using a glass dish, I will be baking it for around 38 to 40 minutes, because as we know, baking in a glass dish takes a longer time. The glass takes a longer time to heat up, so if you're using a glass dish, I would say for up to 40 minutes. However, if you're baking your brownies in a regular aluminum pan, 30 to 32 minutes should do. Now here's the trick part, guys. You have to wait until your brownies are cooled completely before cutting into it. So I allowed my brownie to cool the entire night, and I cut into it in the morning, so maybe 12 hours. But of course you could cut into it before that, but I think if you want a really fudgy texture brownie, please allow it to cool. It definitely requires a lot of patience, but it's definitely worth it because it's gonna taste better. And as we all know, baking is like a science, you know. There are a lot of tips and tricks, so I would recommend you guys to go ahead and read my blog post that I wrote for you guys, you know, the tips and tricks to having a perfectly made brownie all the time. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did use this recipe, I hope your brownies came out delicious as well. Don't forget to subscribe to our newsletter, jammingcuisine.info, so you receive free recipes weekly straight to your email. Thank you guys so much for the support. You guys walk good, stay safe. Until next time.